Welcome, friends. I am actually so excited for today because I've been gathering your questions for 4 years now, and I'm really looking forward to getting back to all of you with some answers. I even wrote them down so I don't forget any, and hopefully I can get all of your questions answered. So we're going to start off with some easy ones. That I get asked the most is my age. I am 48 and I turn 49 in April. So depending on when you watch this, maybe I'll be 49. Where do I live? I currently live in Utah, USA. Yes, it is very pretty here. I get lots of comments on how gorgeous it is. Some of my footage over the summer, I actually filmed in Yellowstone National Park and in the Grand Tetons. So some of the footage does come from Idaho and Wyoming. Is this my real house or is this a studio? This is my real house. It is not a studio, but thank you for thinking it is. We have lived here about a year here in Utah, and this is the house that we are in, which brings me to the next question that I get asked a lot, or more just commented about. Why is my fridge so big when I'm a minimalist? This house is a rental, so we do not own this house, and that just happens to be the fridge that came with the house. So there you go. Is this my real voice? Yes, this is my voice in all the voiceovers. I happen to have a very young sounding voice for my age for some reason, but that's me. As you can see, this is my voice. Which brings me to the next question, which is, why do I speak so slowly? And this answer is because many of you know that a few years back, or 2 years back, I was in a very severe car accident that left me with traumatic brain injury. And because of my brain injury, I speak a little bit slower. What are the beads that I'm either using or wearing? Sometimes on my wrist, usually on my wrist, sometimes around my neck, and I use when I meditate. So these beads are not religious. They are actually called mala beads, and there's 108 beads on a strand. And when you meditate, you use each bead for your breath. So inhale out, exhale is one bead. And you don't have to wear mala beads. I choose to wear my mala beads because they are a reminder to me to pause and be grateful and be present. So it's my personal reason why I wear them. Clothes. I get a lot of questions about my clothing. Where are my t-shirts from? I get that asked a lot. So my V-neck t-shirts actually come from Banana Republic Outlet or from Madewell. And I usually put a link below for those. If you guys want them, they're like, they're great t-shirts. And then others that are round neck come from various places. And I tend to wear clothes that are plain, so they don't have any patterns on them. This is really a personal preference because this way I can mix and match more outfits, and I don't need a really large wardrobe to do that. And I choose fabrics that are natural. Intermittent fasting. So I have been asked many times if I put cream and sugar in my coffee in the morning. And I have heard different takes on this, and I've tried to not put cream and sugar in my coffee and also put cream and sugar and sometimes just cream. I don't really notice a difference for me. So yes, I put cream and actually honey in my coffee because I don't like sugar in my coffee. So I put cream and honey in my coffee in the morning before I eat. That's just how I do it, but I think everyone has a different method for that. Also, what time do I have my first meal is usually around 11 a.m. What about my family? I get lots of questions about my family. So I am married. That is a very handsome man that makes appearances every now and then in my videos. I do have children. I have 3 children, 2 of which are in their 20s. One lives in Costa Rica and the other one lives in Germany. And then I have an 18-year-old daughter who is getting ready to go to university and moving out on her own. So I do have 3 kids and they are grown. I also have 1 grandbaby, yay, and he's in Costa Rica. And how do my kids handle minimalism and my husband? I get this question a lot too. You know, I've been a minimalist since 2008. So my kids were little. So it was a lot easier when they're little. The harder time with my children and minimalism is, of course, when they become teenagers. So it's not that my kids are not on board or have not been on board with minimalism. They actually have been. But when they're teens, of course, they want like the best, newest everything, right? So how I dealt with it is if it was not a need and it wasn't a birthday or something, Christmas or something like that, where they would be getting gifts and they were teenagers, so they would have jobs, then they could buy whatever they wanted with their own money. That's kind of just how I handled that. But again, my kids were pretty on board with minimalism and not really purchasing things they didn't need, so it was never that big of a deal. Fortunately, my husband and I are on the same page when it comes to where we spend our money and how we spend our money. And he's not a big shopper and I'm not a big shopper, so it works out for us. Do I work? Yes, I do work. I know in my videos I don't show a lot of me. I mean, I do show a lot of me working actually at the computer, but it's because it's boring to watch someone work. It's not that exciting. But yes, I work. I am a mindful life coach. So I coach clients and groups that way. And then also YouTube. So this is also work for me, although I enjoy everything I do. And my husband also works. And yes, we all work from home. My husband and I both work from home. And so that's why you see him a lot in my videos, because he's home with me. No, we are not independently wealthy yet. Hopefully someday we will be. And we did not inherit any large income. We both work. So, who films me? I usually just film myself 90% of the time. I have a tripod and a camera, and I push play on the camera and then run around and film. So I usually film myself, but if I'm fortunate enough to get my husband to help, then my husband will film if it's something outside. It makes it so much easier if we are out hiking on the weekend or snowshoeing or something, and he can just grab the camera and film me. I really appreciate it when he does help me. How do I work and have a family and still remain calm and simplify my life? I think that people get in their head that it's an all or nothing, right? It's either I got to be retired and have inherited a ton of money and do nothing all day, and that's why I'm calm and can take a hike, or you are frantic with kids and household and chores and you're never calm. And I think for me, yes, I work. Yes, sometimes life is really chaotic and stressful like everyone's. And I try really hard to weigh out what's really important to me, both in activities and time and energy that I spend. And the things that I can let go of, I do. And that frees up a lot of time and energy and money. It creates pockets of peace and calm and tranquility. Is my whole day that? Usually not unless I'm camping or on a giant hike, then it is, but it's pockets of it. And I try to have as many of these moments as I can in the day. And that's what keeps the blood pressure down and keeps me calm and zen-like, is picking and choosing the things that are really important to me and letting go of everything else and being okay with that. So yeah, that's how I work and I'm calm at the same time because of that. What do I do for exercise in addition to yoga? I walk and hike. And I walk kind of far. I walk every day and I do yoga every day. And when I walk about 2 to 3 miles. So about 40 minutes to an hour is what I walk every day. Why do I always have flowers in my house if I'm a minimalist? Because I love them. So minimalism is something that is very individual. There is no right number of things to own. There is no right or wrong thing to purchase. And it should always be catered to each individual person and what brings them joy and what's important to them. Flowers bring me a lot of joy and they brighten up my house, and it's a little gift I give myself every week, and I really appreciate it, and that's why I always have flowers. At least I try to always have flowers in my house. Hair. I get lots of questions on my hair. Thank you for those of you who like my gray hair. Yes, it is natural. I started going gray in my 20s, and I colored it until I was 40, and then I was just done coloring it, really. I just was like, you know what? I'm just gonna embrace my gray, and I have ever since. And I do cut my own hair, and this is another really big question for people. The reason I haven't done a video on how I cut my hair is because everyone's hair is so different. The texture, if it's straight or curly or thin or thick. And so I think that it's one of those things you have to kind of trial and error yourself to see how to do it. But I will give you my tips for cutting your own hair. Make sure you purchase some hair cutting scissors. So not like paper or fabric scissors, but actual scissors for hair. They don't have to be expensive. You can get them anywhere. But make sure that it's for hair. And then I look up Pinterest of hair that I like, haircuts that I think are cute, and then I choose one. And then I will look up a YouTube video on a hairstylist cutting that person's hair in that way, whether it's a pixie or a shag or whatever. And then I just kind of go at it and just, like that. Like I just kind of wing it at that point. What do I wear for makeup? I wear a lot of Bare Minerals and Burt's Bees, and I keep my makeup very simple, and I can leave links below again for the products that I use. Do I live in an RV, a tiny house, or a regular house? I have done all of the above. Currently, we are in a house, but things are about to change. So stay tuned the next few weeks because big changes are coming for our family. Last question, is there a future book? I love when people ask me that. I think that's so sweet and kind of you to think that I could write a book. Honestly, it's a huge compliment. So thank you. No, I don't have any books in store yet. Who knows? Life is big, and maybe someday I will choose to write one. But as of now, I have enough going on, and that's not in my immediate future. Well, that was a lot of fun. I hope that I was able to answer most of your questions. And if you have more questions, please leave them in the comments below. I really do appreciate all of you. From the bottom of my heart, I love making videos. I love interacting with all of you and our little community. So I really appreciate your support. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful day, my friends.